Yo, what's up everybody? Gonna give y'all my Hunter x Hunter first impressions, guys. I gotta say that when I first turned this on and I started checking it out, I was like, oh snap, it's hitting one of my pet peeves already. If y'all know what I'm talking about, I'll leave the link in the annotation or the description. I basically made a pet peeve video with anime talking about like kid heroes and stuff, but at the same time, hold on a second, at the same time I went ahead in that video and talked about like how it could actually override my pet peeve pretty much and actually succeed as an anime and everything, because there's certain things that I want to see as the anime goes on if there are little pint ass kids as heroes. But anyways, let's get into this, guys. Hunter first impressions. Okay, first we start off with Gon, and he's fishing in this lake, and I'm like, god damn, this motherfucker in this creek fishing in the lake, son, chilling and shit. I'm like, okay, this man wearing all green. This dude got the fucking high ass shorts, yo, looking like John Stockton and shit in the old school basketball days. I'm like, alright, dog, you know what I'm saying, you can get some longer goddamn shorts and shit, maybe go past your goddamn knees, son. But anyways, he's sitting there fishing in the lake, and they show Mito-san. She's actually pretty much kind of like his guardian and stuff, and as he's fishing in the lake, he actually ends up getting the lord of the lake pretty much, and he actually successfully gets it. And the thing is that the only person to actually get that same fucking fish, which looks fucking crazy as shit, yo, is his pops, Gings and shit, right? So he successfully gets it, and he's going crazy like, yeah, I did it, I got this bitch. I'm like, okay, you hype, son. And then that's pretty much his initiation to go ahead and take the hunter exam, and you know, that was pretty much the agreement. So he goes to Mito-san and is like, hey, I got it, you know, y'all can't hold me back no more and stuff. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and take the hunter exam and be a hunter, because his pops actually didn't stay with him and everything, because he actually wanted to be a hunter, and he wants to pretty much figure out why that is. He wants to meet his dad one day and all this shit. So, you know what I'm saying, they're saying, him and Mito-san saying their goodbyes and everything, you know, she's like, take care of yourself and all that stuff, give that fucking classic hug, yo. She starts shedding them tears, yo, and he's like, thank you for everything, yo. So he goes ahead and he goes out to the dock and shit, where they're actually going to be going to where this hunter exam is going to be at. So he's on the ship, he gets up there, and you got all these pirates, you know what I'm saying, they look like pirates, yo, they talking shit, yo, they talking shit to your boy Gon. Gon's like, what, like, they're like, man, little kids shouldn't be here and shit. And then they show him and everything, man. And then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, yo, this dude starts getting pushed around on the ship, son. He's fucking bending over and shit, fucking getting hit down and shit. And the captain coming like, why the fuck you bending over, yo? Get your ass up. And goes like, damn, man, this dude getting treated like a little bitch, yo. You know what I'm saying? And then pretty much they end up actually eventually get into the storm. But before they get into the storm, yo, Gon is like, hold up a second. Fucking with his nose and shit. Like, there's a storm coming. And he's talking to the captain. He's like, is a storm coming? And he's like, hold on a second. Then his motherfucker Spider-Man's his ass up to the goddamn mast and shit. He's like, yeah, it is coming. It's huge and shit. And the captain's like, this kid and shit, right? So all of a sudden this big ass goddamn storm comes, yo, this huge ass fucking tsunami and shit, and everybody's going crazy, man. The captain's trying to get nice with it, and the fucking shipwrights and everybody there, shipmates, they're saying, we gotta go around and off, they're gonna get past it. The captain like, yo, I got this shit, son. And he wheels right over the fuck after that fucking massive ass tsunami like it ain't nothing. I was like, yo, this dude is nice behind the wheel, yo. Fucking getaway driver like a beast. But anyways, yo, after it's all done, everybody on the ship is just out of it. It's like, they seasick as fuck. They ain't got no sea legs whatsoever. They're all knocked out, man. And then fucking Gon is in there giving motherfuckers herbs and shit like, hey, this is gonna make you feel better and shit. And they show these two other guys. One go by Leorio, the other one's Kuripka or whatever, right? And the first time I saw this dude, I was like, hold on. This dude looked just like Elliot from Dead or Alive Thor, yo! I was like, holy shit, so this is what he did after the DOA 4 tournament. This dude got done training under Master Gen, yo, and then wanted to become a hunter, yo. I was like, okay, yo. I started calling him Shaolin Temple from then on because he was training at the Shaolin Temple. Let's go! So, I do want to say something else real quick. I was like, god damn, yo, this Gon's nose is fucking diesel, and this shit might sound fucking obscure and crazy and nasty as shit, but I was like, damn, yo, this motherfucker's nose is so keen that he could probably smell the shit before it comes out of your ass, yo. I was like, damn, this motherfucker be traveling and be like, hold up, hey dog, you gotta take a shit. I can smell it coming. It is huge! Dude be like, oh, for real? Like, oh shit! This motherfucker's nose is serious, son. How the fuck you smell a storm coming when you're on the fucking deep blue sea? How the fuck you do that? Your nose is tremendous at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can smell the rain and shit before it's coming, but when you over the water, when you over the sea, dog, your nose is exceptional. Yo, your nose is exceptional. You smelling all types of shit. But anyways, literally, as that's happening, they're like, okay, you know, and the captain goes ahead and brings them three up into to pretty much the main headquarters of the ship and shit, right? And he's like, so, why you guys want to be hunters? You know what I'm saying? Pretty much show me your background. Gon's like, hey, I want to be a hunter because, you know, my dad was a hunter and everything. I'm trying to meet up with him, and he pretty much kind of left me behind in a way. But he kind of seen that like he was happy about it. He was like, I want to find out my dad's dream and I'm passionate with why he wanted to do it. So I was like, okay. And then the other two, Leorio and fucking Shaolin Temple, they were like, look, I don't think you should be easily telling them why you want to be here and all that shit. And fucking Shaolin Temple was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You could just tell a little white lie and kind of get out of it. And the captain was like, you know what? Just talking to the shipmate, you know what? Tell them we got 2 more dropouts for the ship. And they were like, hold on, what are you talking about? Then he was like, hey, the hunter exam already started, just so you know. It was like, then they were like, damn, you should have told us that at first. Because pretty much everybody else that couldn't use, they had to weed out all the bitches. So pretty much everybody else is out of it except for them 3 that's on the ship. So they're like, oh, okay. You know? So fucking Shaolin Temple breaks it down. He's like, look, my clan was pretty much massacred and all this shit because of our eyes. Our eyes are precious and everything by his goddamn trope clan and shit. And he's pretty much wants revenge for it and stuff. So he's like, hey, so you want to pretty much be a fucking bounty hunter and shit. So Leorio starts talking and shit, and then he's like, he's talking to Shaolin Temple. He's like, you know, and then they're kind of talking back and forth. He's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Ain't I ordering you? You're saying, show me some respect. He's saying, Leorio, son, you, son. And then they keep talking and stuff, and then it gets to a point where it's like disrespect, yo. And Leorio's like, you know what I'm saying? He starts to leave, and he's like, you know what? I'll end your fucking Kurta bloodline today. And Shaolin Temple's like, what? Take that shit back, yo. Leorio's like, meet me outside, Joe. So they go walking outside. And as they're walking outside, Calvin's like, hold on, wait. And then Gon's like, hold on. Mito-san told me that, you know, sometimes the best things for people to figure each other out, and get to know each other is sometimes let them work it out. You know, and the Calvin's like, this kid. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he's gotta be Gage's son, yo. Because he knows him. And when they get out there, man, all the fucking shipmates are trying to fucking like bring in the mass and all that shit, trying to set like bring in the sails and everything. This fucking storm is going crazy on the seas and shit, right? And you got fucking Leorio and Shaolin Temple, son, squaring up. They about to get in it, yo, about to put in work, son. And then that goddamn same shipmate that's fucking clumsy as shit, you could tell he's a goddamn rookie, yo. He's fucking fumbling around and shit. He gets fucking thrown off the ship. Fucking Leorio and Shaolin Temple see him like, oh shit, we gotta save him. They fucking jump off, hold on to the side, try to reach for him and shit, but they can't reach him. They say, you know, bang, fucking Gon jumps off like it's nothing, son. I hold off this shit. This fucking Superman off that shit and grab his legs and shit. He fucking holds on to him. They grab his legs and shit, and then they're like, oh shit, I got him. They're like, pull him up, and they go ahead and pull him up. And they're like, dog, like Gon, you could have died. You know what I'm saying? You would have been like stranded out to sea and everything. But hey, but you caught me. And like, okay, you know, because Gon, he's like, oh, he's a positive thinker and shit, right? And the guy's like, hey, thank you for saving me, all this stuff. Leorio's like, you know, no problem, you know, no problem, thanks a lot and everything. And he's like, no problem, anytime. And Shaolin Temple sees that, you know, this guy probably ain't too bad. We probably just got off on the wrong foot because Leorio's there. He said that he was there all for the money and stuff. And that's kind of why they went at it, because he was like, look, Shaolin Temple's like, look, you can't buy class. And fucking Leorio was like, what the fuck you talking about? You disrespected me, son? You know, so that's kind of why they were out there. So Shaolin Temple was like, you know what, I'm sorry for everything I said. You know what I'm saying? My bad. You know, I was a little, you know, went off at the mouth a little too much. Leorio was like, you know, like, why so formal all of a sudden? Leorio was like, you know what, it's all good. You know, my bad too. I went too far. I'm sorry about that. He was like, yeah, it's okay. So pretty much after that, they go ahead and they actually arrive at the island that they were supposed to be at. So Leorio and goddamn Shaolin Temple, they go all the head up before him, and goddamn the captain is talking to Gon. He's like, you know what, I like you, kid. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much sees something within him. Like, look, if you want to get to the hunter exam, head towards that big ass fucking tree over there in the goddamn distance. You can't miss it. Just head towards that. So he was like, okay. So he pretty much meets up with Leorio and goddamn Shaolin Temple, fucking Kuripka, right? And then he said, like, look, the captain told me to head towards that tree, so that's where I'm going. Like, he wouldn't say that for nothing. Leorio's like, you can't just trust anybody, whatever they say like that. And fucking goddamn Shaolin Temple was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and follow him. You know, I mean, like his demeanor, the way he acts and stuff, it interests me more and stuff. So he goes ahead and follows him. Leorio's like, well, alright, good riddance, good knowing you for as long as I've known, you know. So he starts heading towards the bus, because this bus is supposed to be taken into like Savannah or anything, or something, like where they think the actual hunter exam is being taken and stuff. And then as he's walking, he walks across these guys in the alley, and they're like, oh, all these rookies, you know what I'm saying, they're fools. No one actually gets on the bus, actually makes it there and stuff. So he's like, oh shit. So he turns around and starts fucking heading towards where Gon and fucking Kuripka, you know, fucking Shaolin Temple, fucking headed. So they start actually traveling towards the tree, and on the way there, they run into this village, this kind of small village or city area, and out of nowhere, this goddamn old ass lady with like all these people around her fucking come out of nowhere, and they got like this quiz, and it's pretty much to weed out some more people for the hunter exam. And it turns out there was this guy that went ahead and followed Gon because he heard what the captain said to him. Like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and follow him. And he's like, you know what? And all four of them are there, and the guy's like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take it before y'all. Y'all mind? Like, no, go right ahead. And so she goes ahead and asks him a question, like, if you had to save something like, if you had to save your mother or your love from death, me or death, who would it be? And he says, you know what? I would save my mom, because you know you can get another love, you know, but you only have one mother. So she's like, you know what? You can pass. And then Leorio's like, what the fuck? Like, hold on, what the hell's going on here? That's a fucked up question. What the hell's going on? Then Shaolin Temple's like, you know, it's like, you know what? Hold on. You know, there is no right answer to this shit. And he's about to tell Leorio, and she's like, no. You know what? I don't want you saying anything else, because she knew that he kind of caught on to it. So she pretty much asks them three the question, and who, you know, they can give one answer. Whoever gets it right or whatever, you know, they'll all pass, because they're all taking it together. And she pretty much asks, your son and daughter is pretty much in trouble and stuff. Who will you save first, your son or your daughter? And then Leorio's pissed, yo. And then Shaolin Temple's like, oh my god, keep it together, like don't say anything. Gon, hopefully you caught on. Gon just thinking like this, like, huh, what the fuck, yo. And then Leorio goes to the side, son. He gets this goddamn wood and piece of wood. He's like going like this, like hitting the air and shit, fucking measuring it up and everything. You can tell this dude was heated as shit. But then the countdown goes down so that they can't actually answer no more. But Leorio goes, ah! He comes out of nowhere and son about to smack the shit out of her, yo. And then fucking Shaolin Temple's like, ah! Yo, he stops that shit right in his tracks. And he's like, Leorio, stop. He's like, why are you making me stop? Like, she's asking all these so crazy ass questions. How can we answer that? And then he's like, look, you're gonna mess up your correct answer if you do anything. He's like, what are you talking about? It was like, you had it right from the beginning. Like, you were not supposed to say anything. It's an impossible a question to really answer and stuff. So they pretty much end up letting them go on. And then, Shaolin Temple was like, look, she never told the other guy that he was correct. She just said, hey, you can let him pass. It's pretty much telling him, like, letting him go wherever the fuck he was going. But they actually took the right route, and she showed him exactly where to go. And then, so they start going and everything. They actually, eventually, after fucking forever traveling, they get to this area. And they approach this fucking cabin. In this cabin, there's this goddamn beast, yo. He look like a fucking kangaroo and shit, son. And there's this guy bloody up on the ground like, help me. And then the fucking beast is fucking holding on to this goddamn woman and everything. And he fucking jumps out the window and starts heading into the forest. And then Leorio, they start chasing him. Leorio stays behind and actually patches up the guy. Like, I'm gonna take care of this guy and everything. So fucking Shaolin Temple and fucking Gon are chasing him and shit. And then Gon gets him to go ahead and drop the girl. Fucking Shaolin Temple goes in and catches her, and Gon is still following the goddamn fucking kangaroo goddamn monster and shit, right? It has like a human voice and shit. They're supposed to be like shapeshifters and stuff. And then Shaolin Temple's like, you know what, hold on. She sees like these goddamn tattoos on her arm. Like, hold on, something's off with you. Then all of a sudden, Leorio comes up, son. And then he was like, yeah, the guy at the lodge is all right. He like, I went ahead and fixed them up and all this shit. Next thing you know, goddamn fucking Shaolin Temple smacks him with his goddamn fucking wooden shit, yo, in the face. He's like, oh shit. And then he starts laughing like, how'd you know it was me? Then he starts fucking transforming into that goddamn beast and shit. Turns out there's two of them. And goddamn, he was like, I didn't know that you were a fake. I actually slapped you in the fucking face because you shouldn't leave somebody that's injured like that alone like that. And then after that, he looks at the girls like, so tell me, who the hell are you, son? And the girl starts laughing. She starts smiling like. So anyways, they cut the Gon still fucking following this motherfucker, and he actually catches up with him. And then he looks at him like, hold on a second. He's looking left and right like, what's going on here? I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Gon, put up your fucking dukes, son. Get ready to go in. Get ready to put in work. And this motherfucker's about to come at him and claw at him, and he's like, hold on a second. And Gon's like, hold on a second. You're not the same one I was following. Look, your voice is higher and you look totally different. And then he starts laughing like, wow, yo, that's crazy. So pretty much they all pretty much come together, and it was pretty much a test. And there was the male and the female there with these two kangaroo looking motherfuckers, yo, right? And then they were like, wow, when was the last time there was someone that actually could tell the difference between us? It's been forever. And they pretty much passed Leorio because like he patched up the guy like better than pretty much any doctor really could. They passed Shaolin fucking Temple because of his insight and his attention to detail, because the tattoos that were on this girl was pretty much saying that she was like supposed to be like single for life or some shit like that. And they passed Gon because of like his his incredible agility and his his power and stuff, and his insights, perception, and everything. So from there, they're pretty much the navigators that show them exactly where this 100 exam's gonna be, and they go ahead and take them there. And when they get there, they see this big ass luxurious goddamn building and shit, right? And they're like, oh damn, like this is nice, this is where it should be and everything, like, yeah. And then the guy's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's where it's supposed to be, son. In this goddamn rundown looking goddamn restaurant, they walk in there and shit. He goes ahead and gives them a password talking about a certain meal and shit, and they pretty much like kind of a password. So they take them to the back of the room. Them three, Leorio, got their Shaolin Temple and Gon, right? So they're in there and they're like, hey, where's the meal they're supposed to be having? Shaolin Temple, fucking Kuripka, he's like, that was just a password, fellas, So they pretty much start going down. Like the room is like an elevator and shit. They pretty much get taken down to where it's actually being held. And they walk into this area and there's mad people in there ready for the 100 exam, yo. And this one dude fucking walks up to him. His name is fucking Tompa or some shit, right? And he's known as the Rookie Crusher. This dude is a straight bitch, yo. I was hating this dude the whole time. He was talking to him like they're all nice and everything, and then other people were like, oh, there goes the Rookie Crusher again doing this thing. This dude lives for only fucking crushing hopes and dreams, son. Fuck this dude. But then he goes ahead, he starts, he's like, hey, you know what, here's a toast to our things to come and stuff. So they're about to, hey, thanks, gives one to Leorio, fucking Gon and Shaolin Temple. So they go ahead and crack it open, and Gon's like, oh, hold on, something's wrong with this. He smells it with them goddamn nostrils of his, yo. He's like, hey, something's wrong with this, something's going, like, I think this went bad or something. All three of them poured out. He's like, holy shit, like, no one can tell. Like, how can the fuck can he tell what's in it? That's fucking crazy. Pretty much he put like this X-lax in it and shit that makes him take massive shit, son, all the time, yo. So it pretty much kind of foiled his plan. And then you got this one other dude there, right? Fucking Soka, yo. He's fucking like, this dude just rubs up against him and shit. And then he fucking puts in work on him, son. Makes this motherfucker evaporate like it's nothing, yo. I was like, yo, this dude's a real deal. He ain't playing around, even though he looking fruity as shit. He got fucking hearts and spades on his shit. I was like, yo, you don't fuck with this dude. He's looking for someone to murder, yo. So everybody's like, oh shit, like, you know what, don't fuck with Hisoka, shit, this dude's for real. And then all of a sudden, the goddamn examiner comes there. His name is like Satotsu or whatever, right? So he comes there and he's like, alright guys, the first exam is gonna start right now. All you have to do is follow me. And these motherfuckers start running and running and running and running, and it doesn't fucking stop, yo. They are running for miles and miles and miles. There's people fucking getting exhausted, tired out and shit, and fucking going just like, hey, it's nothing, I'm all good and shit. Then they show this one dude fucking Killua and shit, right? And then he's another short dude, what I'm saying, he's pretty young and everything. And he sees Gon going. He's like, hey, how old are you? He's like, I'm 12. And then, Killua's he's actually on a goddamn skateboard like it's nothing. It's like, Leorio's like, you're fucking cheating, So he asks Gon, like, how old is he? He's like, he's 12 and everything. So he gets off his skateboard. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna run with you and everything. And then him and goddamn Gon kind of get on this little relationship thing where, they're kind of cool and shit, right? And they keep running, fucking Leorio, he gets to a point where he's fucking exhausted and shit. He's holding that suitcase with the shit. And he almost gets to the point where he quits. And then he's like, you know what? Fuck that shit, yo! And then he starts fucking hauling ass to catch up and everything, man. And then he finally gets back in the stride. And then they actually fucking make it to the end of this first long ass exam of fucking running for ages, yo. And they actually end up at the Swindler's Swamp, right? And when they first get there, fucking Satoshi, he's telling them, he's like, look, if y'all have to follow me. If you lose sight of me, shit might fuck up for you and everything. And this motherfucker run like this, yo. He run like this. Like, you run like this. Like, he ain't got no joints in his body and shit. the whole time. And then all of a sudden, this dude comes out of the corner looking just like him. Like, hey, that's a fake. This is me and shit. Fucking Hisoka goes ahead and fucking like throws a goddamn attack at the dude, and fucking the real examiner goes ahead and catches it and blocks it. And he was like, okay, that's your answer right there. Like, that's the real one. You know what I'm saying? Because the fake one was calling him a fake and shit. And he was like, why'd you do that? Well, you know, the actual examiner should be able to block that shit. And the examiner was like, look, Satoshi was like, hey, if you ever do that again, you're pretty much disqualified out of the shit. He was like, oh, okay. So they pretty much start heading towards in this misty ass swamp, and his motherfuckers just running, and everybody's following him and shit, but it's like misty as fuck. People are fucking losing out on him and shit. They're trying to do their best to go ahead and catch up. Next thing you know, goddamn Leorio and Shaolin Temple end up kind of getting a little dismayed, and they can't follow them no more because they can't see where they're going. They see that a whole bunch of people are falling to all these traps with all these different beasts and stuff, because, you know, they're catching them up and all this shit. You know, oh shit, where are you supposed to go? Next thing you know, they keep going, and they Killua and goddamn Gon are still going on their way, and fucking Leorio and Shaolin Temple, they actually run in to Hisoka being fucking surrounded by these guys, and they're pretty much trying to put in work on him, yo. So I could just stand there like, what y'all bitch ass niggas gonna do about it? Let's go! So he's standing there, right? He makes quick work out of him, yo, putting them all to rest like it ain't nothing. I was like, damn, this dude is nice, yo. You way above the elite, son. You nice. And fucking Leorio and Shaolin Temple see this shit like, oh shit. And then Hisoka see him like, oh damn. And then they're fucking like right next to each other in Shaolin Temple. Fucking Kuripka, he's like, you know what, Leorio, the count of 3, we're gonna split up and run in different directions. And then as Hisoka's going in and approaching him, it's like 1, 2, 3, go! And then they fucking just split up in different directions because they know they can't handle this dude, right? And then after they split up, fucking Leorio turns around. He's like, you know, I ain't running like a little bitch, son. I'ma handle this shit. So he comes at Hisoka, starts fucking attacking him and everything. Hisoka put him down like it ain't nothing. Like it ain't nothing, yo. And fucking Gon, meanwhile, Gon was like, you know what, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I need to go back and everything. So he ends up going back, and he's there, and he actually sees that, and he fucking actually goes ahead and confronts fucking Hisoka at the same time, and then fucking he goes ahead and puts Gon down. He's like, don't worry, I ain't gonna kill you or your boy. Y'all promising to me, you know what I'm saying? There's something about y'all I like about y'all, you know what I'm saying? I see something within you, yo! And then he pretty much leaves him there and shit, and then goddamn they pretty much he picks up Hisoka picks up Leorio and fucking carries him pretty much to the finish line and shit. And then Gon, Killua actually is with Satoshi at the finish line and everything where they're supposed to be. And Gon meets up with Shaolin Temple. He's like, damn, how are we gonna get to the goddamn finish line? How are we gonna get there? How do we know which way to go? And then Gon with his fucking nostrils, yo, smelling all that shit. He's like, you know what? He had a cologne on. I can smell that shit, yo. I can smell that shit good as a bitch from here. And he's like, damn. Shaolin Temple's like, damn, you really can, son? Your nostrils flaring hard as shit. And then they go ahead and follow him, and they actually end up arriving where they're supposed to be right at the exact time. So that's pretty much the end of the Swindler's Swamp, and they actually go through this huge gate where actually the next part of the exam is. And then we meet Menchi. Yo, Menchi can get it, son. That's all I gotta say, son. But she's sitting there just chilling with her big ass goddamn gargantuan goddamn glutton right behind her and shit. And all they care about is food, son, because they gourmet hunters, yo. And she's like, you know what? I'm chilling. She's chilling, laid back, hard as shit. And she's like, you know what? For this exam, you gotta go ahead and fix us a meal. You gotta prepare a meal for pork, son. You know, like, damn, like, where are we gonna find that? Like, hey, you got the forest to you and shit. So they all go ahead and leave and everything. But at the same time, they were like, god damn, we gotta fix food? Like, what the fuck is this bullshit? So they go ahead and leave and shit. And then the fucking Menchie's fucking big ass motherfucker, you know, henchman kind of in a way. He's like, hey, you know, I see what you're trying to do. The only kind of pig around here is this carnivorous pig, yo. So they get around the pig. This pig is relentless as shit. Tries fucking charging that motherfucker, yo. They're running away from him, but eventually they find out that the goddamn forehead of the goddamn pig is a weak spot. So they take him out like that. Everybody else does. They bring him in and they start fucking roasting that shit, son. Bacon! Yes! Yes! Delicious! Scrumptious! But, sad to say, everybody fails that shit! Hard as fuck! And she's just looking at it like, you know what, I ain't tasting that shit. And then Shaolin Semple's like, you know, she hasn't even tasted nobody's shit. The big dude is eating it all. She's like, you know what, you fail, you don't pass, you fail. And it gets to the point where everybody fucking fails. Even though Shaolin Temple got nice with the decoration and all that shit, the taste wasn't there or nothing. Pretty much she was setting the standards way too high. And then all of a sudden, son, your boy Netero come out, yo. He sees what happened. He comes down from the goddamn blimp, comes down like, bang! Old dude, son, hold me down. He's like, Menchie, I see what you're doing here. Don't you think this is a little too harsh, Menchie? Even though I see them titties, girl! Yes! And she's like, you know what? You're right. My bad. I'm not fit to be examiner. Please do somebody else. He's like, look, we can't do that. Go ahead and come up with something with a little bit more reasonable. So she pretty much takes him to this kind of canyon. And there's these eggs, like these fucking spider eagle eggs, some shit, in this canyon, but there's like this fucking gust of wind that flies up every some odd minutes and shit, and she's like, and I'm like, how the fuck are we supposed to get that shit? She's like, hey, let me fucking show you, son. So she goes ahead and jumps in there, grabs the egg, and comes up like that, like it's nothing, because the goal is pretty much to have one of those eggs and have it hard boiled, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and cook it and all that shit and eat it. It's banging. So Gon goes like, you know what? I got this. So that everybody jumps in, they hang on to the webs, and Gon's like, not yet. But everybody's holding on, like, holy shit, like this, the web's fucking breaking and all this shit. It's like, not yet. And then Gon using his nose, like, now! So you know what I'm saying? They jump, they let go, they all grab the eggs and everything, they fucking hover up from the gust of wind that's coming up at the perfect time. They land and they actually have their eggs and shit. Certain people actually failed that part because they weren't willing to do it, and they were actually looking down on the gourmet hunters because they didn't see it as real hunter shit, because they punk ass bitches gotta be nice at everything. Full circle! So they went ahead and passed that shit, and then they started moving on to the next stage of the exam. So now everyone's on this big ass blimp and shit, and Gon and Killua are actually pretty goddamn close and everything. They chilling with each other the whole time. We actually find out that fucking Killua is actually like he's an assassin, you know what I'm saying, and his mom and dad are still alive. They're assassins and shit, and he like knows like these dark arts and everything. And when they get there, when on the ship, fucking Tompa, motherfucking the rookie crusher, the bitch ass motherfucker, actually tries to go ahead and manipulate and fuck up goddamn Leorio and goddamn Shaolin Temple once again, telling them like, hey, look, you know, anything could happen up here, you know, you never know what could happen, you better stay on your toes and shit. Shaolin Temple's like, you know, that's some bullshit, like, that don't make no sense, they would have told us. And then he's like pretty much banking on them being, you know, like nervous up all night, but when he goes to check on them, he realizes that they're actually sleeping, and it kind of fucking foils his whole plans. Who's a bitch? I don't understand the reason why you're there to do that. How you be a rookie for fucking 30 fucking plus straight? Makes no sense. No ambition. But anyways, he gets to the point where fucking Netero's looking at Gon and Killua at the same time, like talking and shit, and then he fucking appears up on him and shit, and Killua's like, what the fuck? Oh, this old man, like he ain't a regular old man. He comes up to him like, hey, you know what? We're gonna play a game real quick, and guess what? If you go ahead and succeed, you'll pass the hunter exam, flying colors right out. So he pretty much takes him to this room, and he's like, look, all you have to do is get this ball from me. You have from now until we actually reach our destination to actually do it. I'm like, okay. You know, so they both start going at it and shit. Killua starts using his fucking, like, assassin arts and shit, underground shit. Doesn't work. Then Gon gets his goddamn go at it. He's got that mean ass fast step, son. He's like, oh, no, that's what I was like, oh, okay. Still doesn't work. So both of them start coming out at the same time and shit. They're going to work. And eventually, Killua was like, you know what? Fuck that shit. You know what? This is too much. I ain't worried about it. Gon, if you haven't realized, he hasn't used his right hand whatsoever this whole entire time. He's fucking with us. You know what? I'm out of here. Gon's like, you know what? I'm gonna stay behind. I'm gonna make this dude use his right hand. Eventually, fucking Killua leaves, and as he leaves and shit, these fucking two guys come up on him, trying to like punk him and everything. Killua's like, you know what? I would have killed that goddamn old man. Look at him shit. You know what I'm saying? Fucking gangster and shit. This little ass goddamn kid, son. These dudes come up to him, fucking hold him on the back. You drop their asses in an instant. I was like, what the fuck just happened, son? You didn't even raise a hand at these dudes, yo. How you putting in that much work, son? But anyways, goddamn Gon is still going at fucking Netero and shit in that room, and he actually eventually makes him use his other hand, and he kind of sees it as a victory. Like, he starts laughing and shit. He's all exhausted. He's like, I made you lose your right hand and everything. And he's like, oh, Netero's like, oh damn, he actually did. And he's all knocked out and stuff. And fucking Netero's like, you know what? He calls the goddamn cab and he's like, go a little slower. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, he likes Gon, you know. So they actually keep going, and they actually get to where they're supposed to be for the next part of the exam. And they drop them off on this big ass goddamn narrow fucking mountain. And it's like, look, this is a fucking prison, right? But anyways, actually before I get to that, they were like, look, your objective is to get down to the base of this bitch. And everybody's up there like, what the fuck? And then eventually they notice, like Shaolin Temple, Leorio, and goddamn Gon and Killua actually notice that people are vanishing there and here and there and stuff. Like, you know what? There's probably like secret passages on the top because no one's going off the side. We've seen that, and the one dude that tried to go off the side, claiming that he was a beastly ass rock climber, got fucking shitted on by some goddamn pterodactyls and shit. So they fucking find out there's some secret doors and shit. They each take one, they fall in, and they're like, damn, like we can only push forward if there's 5 of us. So they're sitting there waiting forever for a 5th one. The 5th guy comes, guess who it is? That bitch! Tompa, the goddamn rookie crusher. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. You ain't gonna help worth shit. So they go ahead, they put on these wristbands and shit, and pretty much the deal is that this place is a prison, and they have these prisoners there to kind of adhere them from actually reaching their goal. And the deal is that if the prisoners can actually knock off time on their sentence, if they actually successfully do it, and they actually take off a lot of hours away from them actually reaching the goal and shit. So they're actually going through, and they get to this area where it's like this arena, and pretty much it's these battles. And the way that the way that this whole thing works is that it's majority ruling. So if one person, so whoever, so the majority rules that's exactly where they're gonna go. So before they actually get there, they have this majority rule and say, okay, where are we gonna go? Are we gonna go left or right? And Leorio and the goddamn Tompa and the fucking rookie crusher bitch are going at it the whole time. And he's like, why the fuck did you say no? You know what I'm saying? Getting in his head and shit and everything, believing that it's him and all this shit, start shitting on him. They're going at it back and forth. So they eventually get to that arena area. So when they get there, they're pretty much telling them, look, this is going to be one-on-one battles and shit. Y'all can pretty much go ahead and agree on what exactly you're going to do to actually succeed in this certain battle that you're going to be doing. So Tompa's sitting there like, you know what? I'll go first. Like, think about it. You don't want me to be the icebreaker if it comes down to be tied and I'm actually the tiebreaker, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, you know what, yeah, go right ahead. So he gets there, and this other dude, this prisoner comes out, he takes off his fucking cloak and shit, and it's this diesel fucking like marine looking motherfucker, right? And then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, son. And Topa's like, yeah, he's just sitting there, and everybody else, fucking Leorio and Gon and Killua and fucking Shaolin Temple look at him like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even gonna handle the shit and everything. Man, that fucking marine dude comes at got that motherfucking Tompa. He goes, I give up, I quit. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then that was it. That battle was over with. They already got pretty much a point over there. It was like, wow, Leorio was fucking pissed off. I was like, holy shit. But anyways, as we move on. But anyways, Gon is like, you know what? I'm going next. So they go ahead. He meets on the center platform in the arena. The next person comes up and he's like, you know what? How about we go ahead and do it like this? We see which one of these candles will go out first. He's got like multiple candles and shit. He tried to fucking play a trick on Gon. And he's like, you know, which candle do you want? The shorter one or the bigger one? Gon's like, you know what? I'm gonna pick the bigger one. And shit. So he pretty much picks the obvious shit. So they light them on fire and each one of them is holding a candle from each other and shit, right? Since he go ahead and play this trick, goddamn Gon's candle is fucking burning even faster. It's getting down to the goddamn brim and shit. Gon's like, you know what? Boom, I'm gonna put it down. He runs over to him, blows that shit out like a bitch, yo. Straight up, and he's like, oh shit. And then they go ahead and actually win that round. And then actually the next person to fight is actually Kuripka, fucking goddamn Shaolin Temple, right? And then this motherfucker, like, he fights this one dude. He takes off his cloak. He's coming up there. He's looking all blue and shit, looking all diesel. He's pretty much using intimidation as his weapon. And fucking Shaolin Temple is just like, I could tell you ain't shit. And Killua and everybody else like, look, we can tell you ain't strong. And he's fucking giving them all these like empty threats and shit, like, oh, I'm gonna beat your ass and all this shit and everything. And then he goes ahead and fucking shows them. He shows them like this emblem on the back of his fucking back and shit or whatever. And it's a goddamn spider emblem. The goddamn fucking clan that he's actually trying to fucking get at. Their shit. Fucking that trope shit, yo. Fucking, yo. Shaolin Temple get grizzly, yo. He's like, hold the fuck on, son. Hold the fuck on. When I seen it, I was like, yo, shit's about to get real. He's about to murder your ass, yo. He fucking comes up on him. He's like, yo, he slams this dude hard as shit into the ground. And it's like game over. He's like, look, don't play me for a bitch. Son, just is what it is. And I can tell that fucking spider emblem on your shit is a fucking fake. Never do that shit, son. My vengeance lives strong. It is stronger than ever. He fucking Shaolin Temple walks away like it ain't nothing. Like, look, the match is over. The match is over. And then it's a while before it's actually called and shit. And eventually they're like, you know what are we gonna do about this? And the whole time there's this clock counting down and shit. Pretty much they have a certain amount of time to actually reach the goal and everything. This clock counting down, and people are like, look, what's gonna happen? I mean, is the guy dead or what? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? And then that's when the next chick comes out, yo. The next person that comes out, she takes off her cloak, and it's just banging, yo. She got that pigtail going on, pink hair, let's go. Fucking Leorio come out there, and she's like, look, I'll make a bet and see if he's alive or not. You know what I'm saying? And this pretty much will take away hours and stuff from their allotted time. Leorio's like, you know what? I bet that he's alive. You know, so they go ahead. Actually, but before that, she's like, look, you know, bet if I'm a male or female. Leorio's like, she gotta be a female. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at the silhouette, like, damn, you gotta be female. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, you know what? You're a guy. And then, you know what I'm saying, before that, she's like, look, you can fill me up, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure. And he's like, yeah. Then he goes ahead and fucking fills her up and shit. He's like, ah, and all this shit. I can't remember if he said you're a female or a guy or whatever, but anyways, he goes ahead and fills her up and everything, and he's feeling good as shit about that, son. So he pretty much kind of gives in, you know what I'm saying? He pretty much takes the loss for that shit, just so he can fucking fill her up. And then after that, she's like, you know what, we'll bet if he's alive or not. And then he's like, you know what, I think he's alive, you know. And then the whole time the guy's laying down there trying to play dead and shit, you know, trying to waste even more time. So he pretty much takes him to the edge. Is like, look, if he, like, you know what, this is how we find out he's alive. You know, if I drop him, he's gonna die. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously gonna want to react to save his life and everything. So as he fucking lets go of him, they pretty much prove him right, and he's actually alive, and they actually win that round. And then the next one comes up, yo. This is when Killua will get on the scene, son. And then this motherfucker that come out of nowhere, yo. He's a last prisoner, right? He takes off his cloak. He's fucking clawing the side of the fucking wall, fucking that brick ass wall, eating it up with his arms, with his hand and shit. I'm like, oh my god, yo, your grip is fucking monstrous, son. You fucking grip the shit out of shit, yo! And Killua was just sitting there like, it ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? And his buff and the deuce and the prisoner's like, look, man, this ain't gonna be no fight. This is gonna be a massacre. I'm gonna shit on you. But this dude supposed to be like a fucking like serial killer, like mass murderer and shit. He's got a name for himself and everything. Even all the other prisoners are fucking scared of this dude. They won't even get in his way. Fucking Killua was standing there, yo. Next thing you know, yo, yo, yo. Yo, how you snatch somebody's heart out of their chest and put it in a doggy bag in an instant? What the fuck, yo? Maybe in the manga that shit was just raw heart, son, but that shit was in a doggy bag. I thought that was even more gangster, yo. I don't give a fuck. And he was just holding it like, this ain't shit. And we're like, when the fuck, how the fuck? When we were in fucking Shaolin Temple, like, goddamn, thank God this nigga on my side, holy shit. Cause this motherfucker snatched his heart out of his goddamn chest, through his rib cage, his tissues, his organs and shit, took out his heart and put it in a doggy bag. What the fuck? This dude fall over, done, game, set, match, they move on. But they lost mad time because of goddamn Leorio and shit. I think he lost something like fucking 50 hours or some shit because he was trying to be scandalous and all that. But after this dude went ahead and put working on doggy bag and all that shit, man, they go ahead and they start moving forward. And because of Leorio's fucking loss and shit of time and all that stuff, they actually were forced to wait in this certain particular room for an allotted amount of time. And then by the time they actually get out, they only had like 9 hours left or something. So they pretty much started pushing forward, and then they finally reached this last pretty much majority ruling test. And what it was that they only had a very allotted amount of time left, and everybody else was finishing. Hisoka actually finished first after he got confronted on somebody that had his fucking grudge on him and shit. He just got nice on him, you know what I'm saying, with ease. I was like, okay! But there was a lot of other people finishing and shit. And then they, so they're at this last majority ruling shit, and Leorio and goddamn Tompa, bitch motherfucker, they're actually still going at it, bickering back and forth and stuff, because there's pretty much this long route and a short route. The short route will get them to the end like that, but only a certain amount of people can actually take that route. I believe like 2. While the other route, everybody can pretty much go, but it'll take them like fucking like an hour or some shit like that just to actually get to the end. So they were kind of bickering back and forth. Fucking the rookie fucking bitch made Tompa motherfucker, he was like, yeah, because of you, Leorio, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you wouldn't have wasted all that time and all this stuff. So after a lot of bickering and stuff, Gon actually comes up with this idea where he's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and take the long route, but let's cut into the goddamn short route. And the reason why he thought of this is because they started fighting, and there was these weapons in the room, so they fight each other off to see who actually was gonna go through the short route. But one of them actually swung and hit the wall and saw that it actually made a crack in the wall and all this shit and blew it apart and everything. So he was like, you know what, let's do this. So he came up with the plan. They went ahead and made it happen, and then they all took the short route to actually get there, and they all passed with ease. Just is what it is, right there at the end. So that pretty much left 25 of them completely done. Alright, and then that's when they went ahead and moved on to the next phase of the exam. Okay, and the next part of the exam was the 4th stage, and it takes place on Zevel Island. And pretty much what they're allotted to is that everybody has a badge with a certain number on it. And what they have to do is they're going to be dropped off on this island, and they're going to be there for about a week. And what they have to do is take their target's badge. So it has to equal out to a certain amount of points. So pretty much if you get your target's badge, you're pretty much good. But as soon as they give out the badges and they tell, okay, look, your target is this person, this person, this person, you know, they don't exactly know like whose their target is, because people start taking their badges and putting them down, so people can't see them and all that stuff. But certain people remember who's who and stuff. Hisoka don't give a fuck. He's just like, I'm a beast, son. I'm wearing my badge proud, yo. It is what it is. I was like, okay. So they start letting them off into the island, and pretty much the people that finish first to last place get to go off first. So first Hisoka went off, and then so on and so forth, and then the last people to actually get off the boat into the island were, you know, Gon, Leorio, Killua, you know what I'm saying, Shaolin Temple and shit, and fucking Tompa and all that stuff. And it pretty much gave the people that went off the boat first the advantage, because, you know, they were already there. They can set up shop and all that stuff, so they were pretty much good to go. But anyways, once everybody pretty much gets on the island, the boat goes away, and they're there pretty much stranded by themselves for this entire time. Gon already knows who his target is, and his target is actually Hisoka. And so he's like, damn, man, like, I can't confront him up close, because, you know, last time I did that, it didn't really work out right. I got fucking shit on. So I was like, okay, what you gonna do, Gon? What you gonna do, son? So he was like, you know what? I gotta go for his shit. I gotta go for his badge. The only way I'm gonna make this work right now. So he comes up with this idea of practicing how he's exactly gonna do it and trying to figure it out. So as he's fishing, he actually realizes that the best way to get what he wants is to get his, you know, get the fucking badge when Hisoka is actually focusing on his prey. So that allows him to go ahead and catch him off guard and get what he wants. So once he comes up with his goal, and actually the whole time that Garetta dude is fucking peeping in on him and shit, yo, because he's like, he's lacking focus and all this shit. He's too focused on that. He's not focused on nothing else. But he's waiting on his turn to do what he's got to do. So Gon, he's like, you know what? I got this. So he goes out into the forest. He's looking for Hisoka, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to creep it through and everything, and he actually finds him. He finds him, and he's waiting in the bushes, yo. He waiting in the bushes like, what? He gonna find me here? He don't know I'm here yet. I'm nice with it. Then Hisoka get up, and he acts as if, like, he starts looking over to where Gon is. And he acts as if, like, he sees Gon in a sense. And Gon's like, oh, shit. And next thing you know, your boy Gozu gets up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, shit, okay. He was there, like, right next to him the whole fucking time, son? This dude, creeper, yo! But anyways, he jumps out there, and he's pretty much kind of, like, on a suicide run. You know, he wants in, he want to practice some shit on him and everything. Man, Soga's like, man, I'm not even trying to fight you, man. You ain't even worth the time, yo. The fuck out of my face. And then out of nowhere, yo, that dude, man, that crazy looking android looking motherfucker just come out of nowhere. What's his goddamn name? Fucking Puck or some shit like that. Kuripka, I don't know what the fuck this dude's name was. Yo, this dude was fucking crazy, son. I believe it was like Kuripka or some shit. He comes out of the woodwork and slays this dude. Just nothing, yo. Get off of my plate, bitch. You are not the main course. I do not like you. Sit the fuck down. And I was just like, damn, okay. I guess it is what it is. And then this motherfucker takes his pen. Him and fucking Hisoka start talking a little bit. He fucking takes out this pen from his head. And all of a sudden, this motherfucker start transforming and shit. It's going like this. Like, I was like, what the fuck you doing, son? Stop Harlem shaking, yo. And this motherfucker gets like this long hair. Long black hair and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? The hell is going on here, son? He's got like these just like these cold ass eyes, like he don't give a fuck. And he's like, oh, I'm just gonna sleep here. He fucking like digs this goddamn hole in an instant, jumps in the hole and buries himself, and then just fucking goes to sleep like it's nothing. And then Hisoka gets up and he starts walking because he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get me a badge, you know, I'm gonna get my stuff over with. And Gon goes ahead and starts following him. And then, meanwhile, while this is happening, Leorio actually got fucking screwed over, okay? Because he started talking to Tompa and everything. Tompa was trying to get him to show him his badge because he knew he had it in his briefcase that he was holding on to the whole time. He pretty much got Leorio to do so. Tompa was actually working with this other cat. They stole his badge and stuff because it was actually fucking Tompa's target was Leorio. And they pretty much teamed up to kind of help each other. And then next thing you know, that the Shaolin Temple come out the woodwork, and they put work in on that bitch made rookie crusher faggot, and they get back that goddamn badge and stuff, and they're pretty much good to go with that. And they actually have he actually has an extra badge as well. So Hisoka actually meets up with Leorio and Shaolin Temple, son, and they got those extra 2 badges. Now, one of them actually means a lot to Shaolin Temple, son. That's like that's his money right there. He ain't going nowhere without that. But the other one just means 1 point to him. So they're like, look, Hisoka, we'll give you this 1 badge, all right? He doesn't tell him that it only means 1 point to him or whatever. Like, look, we'll give you this 1 badge, and you know, we can just call it even, whatever like that. But we will fight you to the death. They know they can't fuck this dude, but they will fight with their lives, yo. Because there ain't no way they giving up on this shit. Like, so what you want to do? So Ahsoka's like, you know what? Alright, that's cool. I like you cats. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, alright. Then they're like, look, we're going to leave the badge right here on this tree. We're going to peace out. Man, Hisoka's like blood is boiling, yo. He wants something. Like, he thirsty, yo. He thirsty as shit right now for some blood, yo. And Gon is like in the woods still, you know what I'm saying, peeping in on him and shit. Like, you know, it's still waiting for that perfect opportunity, that perfect time, right? So now fucking Leorio and goddamn Shaolin Temple are looking for this other badge for Leorio, looking for his target. And it turns out that his target is this girl named Ponzu and shit. But we're gonna get to that soon enough. So what happens is that Killua, he's actually being followed this entire time by someone that by his target, pretty much by these guys that are targeting him, and he pretty much puts swift work onto them. Like, they're following him forever. They got like these allies, fucking like brothers and shit. He, you know, saying that nothing, just whatever, get the fuck out of my way, get fucking shitted on. He takes their shit. It's all good. And what happens is that we go back to Gon, and Gon, like, he's still in the bushes, yo, watching Hisoka, but he sees, he gets up, gets a vantage point, and he sees what's gonna happen. He knows that Hisoka is actually gonna run in to a target soon enough at a certain point. So he pretty much gets in his spot and gets ready to jump into action. So here comes Hisoka, right? And Gon is like right there seeing this shit, and the bush is still hiding this shit. Hisoka sees him, boom, starts gunning for her ass, like, yeah. You know, it's like, oh shit. And then as he's going for him, yo, he gets on his ass, fucking goes like, no! He throws his goddamn rod, snatches his shit, Hisoka sees that shit like, oh, damn, yo, someone got me for my shit, yo! And then goes like, I got it! And then, you know what I'm saying? He starts hauling ass. Next thing you know, fucking Garetta's there, man. Hits his ass with a goddamn blow dart, like, oh, shit! Yo, he fucking falls to the ground. Garetta's like, yeah, see, you train all that shit. You went ahead, you honed your senses to get your shit, but you want to wear your surroundings, little motherfucker. And then he took his shit and just started walking away. Next thing you know, Hisoka come up there, lays his ass down like it ain't nothing. And then Gon's like, what the fuck? And then Hisoka goes ahead and gives Gon the badge. Yo, Gon gives him his badge, and he gives his own badge to him and shit. And then Gon's like, why you help me? I don't want no help from you. I don't pay back nobody. You know what I'm saying? And Hisoka's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole time I was just like, but I took it as, look, you gonna talk to me like that, son? That's what I just did for you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like you because of your skills. You know what I'm saying? But you need to understand you ain't on my level yet. That's why I'm keeping you around, so that when you do get on my level, I can challenge that ass and put in work properly. You know what I'm saying? Gon gets up and shit. I'm just like, what? And Hisoka just, yo, he hit this dude, son. The screen turned red. Yo, Gon, you ain't smell that shit coming, did you? Fuck no, you ain't smell what the fuck Hisoka was cooking. Hell nah, son. You got shitted on so hard, son. You did fucking tumble rolls, yo. Goddamn fucking barrel rolls and shit. Hit the ground, just slid on that shit like that. I was like, damn, Gon, you got fucked up. But you took them damn badges like you were supposed to, son, didn't you? Exactly. But anyways, goddamn, he goes ahead, Gon, he's kind of depressed, he's kind of sour about that whole deal and stuff. He doesn't want to seem like he owes Hisoka something like that, nothing like that, you know. But he ends up eventually meeting up with Leorio and Kuripka, goddamn Shaolin Temple, you know. So he actually ends up meeting up with them two, and they're actually gonna help Leorio get his badge from Ponzu. Now it turns out that they have some intel on Ponzu that she can actually, like, you know, she uses like a lot of different like drugs and stuff like that, and chemicals and poisons, all that stuff. So they're like, you know what, how we gonna find her? You know what? We can use super nostrils, yo! Flare your goddamn nostrils, son! You know what I'm saying? See if you can track down the sets. So Gon's like, I got this shit. There she is! You know what I'm saying? And they start fucking tracking this chick down, son, and they eventually get to this cave, right? And Leorio's like, you know what? Y'all help me good enough. I got this shit. I'm going in alone. Just leave it alone. All that stuff. And they're like, nah, we're gonna help you. I'm like, alright, fuck it. 30 minutes for not out, you know what the deal is. So he goes in there. He walks in there and shit, and then he sees this motherfucker sitting there on the floor and shit. Kinda, you know, he like he kinda sleeping or whatever, or he could be dead. Then there's Ponzu sitting next to him that's just sitting there like, what the fuck's going on? You know? And then yeah, Leorio get fucked up. He gets he tries to go ahead and touch the guy, and then all these goddamn snakes come out of nowhere and just fucking gnaw on his ass, and then he starts yelling, and that actually brings in goddamn Shaolin Temple and Gon. They're like, what the hell's going on here? So they pretty much find out that Ponzu actually used like the sleeping gas to get into the cave, because I guess the guy that went in there, he was using it to kind of hide out in there or whatever, and he put this kind of trap on the cave with all these snakes, so that if anybody came in or whatever, or even tried to leave, the snakes would automatically attack them. So she used this sleeping gas to get in, to actually get in and try to knock him out, so that she can go in there and get his badge and stuff. But the thing is that it didn't get every snake kind of like, you know, knocked out or whatever. So when she got in there, she pretty much got herself trapped in there, because even if she used it again, she wouldn't have enough time to run out, because she couldn't hold her breath that long and all that stuff. So they were pretty much trapped in there. Leorio's all fucked up. Gon actually goes ahead and goes fucking raw full ham on the dude that set up the trap to get the fucking the goddamn the cure from him and shit, the anti-venom from him. He gets it. He's all surrounded by goddamn fucking snakes and shit, getting all fucked up. And then he actually gets it. He actually administers on himself and on Leorio, so they're a lot better. And what happens is that Gon comes up with an idea to benefit everybody. Like, look, we're gonna get out of here. Go ahead and set off another one of those traps, and I'm gonna carry everybody out. Trust me, you have my word. He pretty much got them to got her to be convinced by what he was saying, that it was trustworthy, and he went ahead and did it. Yo, he strong-armed everybody out of there, yo, just like Leorio, everybody, son, holding his breath, because he can hold his breath like a motherfucker, yo. So he actually ends up getting everybody out, but for Ponzu, kind of bad for her. He goes ahead, you know what? For the cost of us doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and take your badge and give it to Leorio. So boom, they actually end up meeting up at the whole end of this whole trial and stuff, at this exam, they meet up back on the ship, and then that's when they go ahead and head for the final exam, the final spot, the final destination, son. Let's go. So they finally arrive at this place, and it looks like this huge plaza, kind of like a big ass, like luxurious hotel in a sense. And to me, it kind of looks like the headquarters for the hunters also. But they get there and everybody's there, you know what I'm saying? You got Netero there, you got you know what I'm saying, the fine bang, you got Menchi there, yo, you know what I'm saying, holding it down. You got Satos there, you got everybody there pretty much that you've been seeing, all the examiners all the way up until there. And they're gonna go ahead and actually run a tournament. Now, here's the thing with this tournament is that they're actually doing it so that only one person can actually fail. Everybody else passes. And the way that you fail is by pretty much not getting a win. If you win once, you're done. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to worry about anything else. You pass, you join, you become a hunter, you know? And the way that they do it is that the people that are actually fighting first in the brackets and how they got them set up are the people that they hand chosen that seem to have like the best skill sets and the best traits about them and such. And it turns out that the first match is actually Gon versus Hanzo, and Hanzo, you know what I'm saying? He's like this ninja looking dude, right? He got the bald head and everything. I was like, okay, Hanzo, you got those scales up. But anyways, fucking Killua sees that shit, right? And he's looking at Gon like, hold up. And he sees that, he's like, hold on a second. This shit is perplexing as a bitch. I'm confused. Like, does this mean that they think Gon is like better than me or some shit like that? Like, all this just kind of going through his head and everything, right? So everybody sees what's going on. Shaolin Temple's got to fight Hisoka and all this stuff. So basically, what happens is that the tournament begins, right? So it's Gon versus fucking Hanzo at first, and they're pretty much squaring up. Next thing you know, like the first blow, bam, just done. Just knocked him straight to the ground. Your boy Hanzo just right to the back of the neck, yo. Gon thought like he had something. He had that quick first step. He said, oh shit, went straight to the ground, yo. And from then on, Hanzo just had it on lock. Just beating his bitch ass for hours, yo. Fucking Leorio and Shaolin Temple on the side, you know what I'm saying? Getting all grizzly, fucking getting pissed and shit, yo. But they knew that if they interfered, you know, pretty much you're disqualified right there, you know? So they kind of had to hold themselves back. So after all this time is passing, like, Gon won't submit, you know? Because the only way is that you can pretty much lose is if you submit, is if you submit. So like he's not submitting whatsoever. So Hanzo pretty much gets to the point like he even like fucking breaks his arm and all this shit, and Gon still's like, you know what I'm saying, like he's not fucking submitting and shit. Like I believe he like dislocated his shoulder or something, but he's not submitting. So Hanzo's like, you know what, he kind of sees something within Gon in his eyes and stuff. So he's like, you know what, forget it. You can go ahead. I submit and stuff. I'll just win the next match or whatever after that, because you're not gonna submit whatsoever, because he has that within him, that fire, son, right? And then goddamn Gon, even after he submits and stuff, like he's not satisfied. He's like, we can come to an agreement with how we can actually end this match and everything. And they're fucking yelling back and forth. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, all this shit. And then he just basically knocks his ass out. Like, look. And then he tells Netero and all them, like, look, you got to give him this shit. And even the judges were like, yeah, you know, he's going to get his fucking hunter ID and all that stuff. But he has to understand that he's going to get it regardless, even if he wants to put up a fight about it, is what it is. So it switches to Gon actually in bed and shit, and he's got the goddamn fucking strap on and shit with the cast and everything, laid down in bed, and he wakes up, and then got this Satoshi, he's actually sitting right next to him. And he gets up and like, hey, so how long was out and stuff like that, right? And it comes to find out that he's been out the whole time and the entire tournament is done and over with. And Gon's like, what the fuck happened? You know, but he goes ahead and shows him his ID and stuff, that he went ahead and that he actually won the match and everything, and that there's supposed to be some type of like informational kind of ceremony for them really soon. But he goes ahead and informs Gon exactly what went down. So Killua, whatever, he actually was even perplexed even more by seeing like Gon getting his ass whipped and all that stuff. So he starts off by telling him that, you know, he was supposed to have his match, but he ended up forfeiting like his next 2 fights just pretty much off of arrogance. Like, you know, he's not worth my time. He's not worth my time. I ain't fighting them. Get the fuck out of my face type of shit. It's like, okay, like he just gave 2 people the pass like it's nothing. Right? And then your boy Shaolin Temple and goddamn Hisoka, they were going at it for a while. Hisoka, you know what I'm saying, just doing his thing, dodging all this stuff, you know, kind of just going on par with him. And the next thing you know, Hisoka goes ahead and whispers something in your boy's ear and everything, and he pretty much submits. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, what the hell's going on here? And then the next thing that's about to happen is that it was actually about to be fucking Killua versus goddamn what the fuck is that dude's name, yo? Get a pocket or some shit like that. That crazy ass motherfucker, right? They be changing shapes and shit. What the fuck is going on with this dude, man? And it turned out that he actually is this man's brother. That goes by Illumi, right? Or Illumi or some shit, right? And I was like, okay, hold on a second. This dude has an alias where he looks like a robot. Like, he moves like he's a fucking robot, son. I'm sorry. Like, he look like he got something up his ass the whole time, just saying, yeah. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's why I didn't pay no mind to him or his name the whole time. I knew he was some type of threat, but at the same time, I was just like, man, I ain't feeling you like that. But then when I seen this, I was like, oh, shit. But he starts talking to him, and then fucking Killua was like, oh shit, that's my bro, pretty much, you know? And, you know, Gon finds out that fucking, that Killua actually fucking failed. You know what I'm saying? He failed the hunter and shit. And then when he actually is going through telling him what's happening between him and his brother, is that his brother was, he was talking like, Killua was telling him like, you know, he doesn't want to be an assassin and stuff like that. He doesn't want to really like kill people and stuff like that no more and everything. And then like he has friends and shit. And his brother Illumi was telling him like, look, you are not qualified to have friends, alright? You are not qualified to have them. You do not deserve friends. That is not what you're all about. Just fucking grilling him, son. Then he was egging him on like, look, if you think you can take me, let's go. But he knew he couldn't take on Big Bro, yo. He knew he won't brolic enough to take on Big Bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why he ain't bust a move on that dude, right? And then it was funny because he was like, oh, so you think Gon's your friend? He was like, well, should I go kill him right now? And then he was like about to go like put in work on Gon. You know what I'm saying? Leorio and fucking Shaolin Temple, like, hold the fuck on a second here, yo. That shit ain't going down like that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, like shit about to get real right now, son. But it turns out that he went ahead and backed off after the whole deal, and then fucking Killua actually fucking submitted. He was like, you know what, I'm done, fuck that shit. But he pretty much mind fucked his ass. Like his big brother, fucking Luma, he fucking mind fucked Killua, yo. Motherfucker got mind fucked. This is what it is. He got mind fucked hard as shit, yo. He didn't know what to do, what to say after that, yo. He was just like, damn. And this dude just walks off like it ain't nothing. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? And then what happened is that the next fight is actually between Leorio and goddamn, I believe his name was Badoro. and they were actually about to fight. But then, out of nowhere, here comes Killua just coming on the scene right behind fucking Bedoro, yo. And he's like, ah! Oh, just straight fucks his back up, fucking impales him hard as shit. Yo, I have never, that's one of the only times I've seen a back arch that hard, son. Not even during the fucking Olympics do I see them cats bending their arc like that, arching that hard, son. You know when they're doing that Olympic shit, when they're jumping over that goddamn high beam and shit, and that fucking tall ass jump shit, like, oh, like this motherfucker was like, ah! He couldn't handle that shit, yo. He hit with that devastating shit, son. I was like, damn. And right then, boom, he was done. And then fucking your boy fucking Bedoro was done too, because he killed him. He killed him right on the spot. Leorio won. You know, and pretty much from then on, the rest is kind of history. But that shit was crazy though, man. Because the whole time we saw Killua there, like he even said he was like, being a hunter, you know, I don't really care for the hunters and all that stuff. I don't really care for being a hunter, you know. He was more so there just because he thought it was going to be a challenge or whatever. But he was disappointed the whole time he was there, pretty much, you know. And when he got to the point where he found out that get a record motherfucker was actually his brother and shit, it just completely fucked with his head. And then like those mind games he was fucking, that Illuma was fucking putting on him, yo, like it just completely fucked with him. Because he even said, he was like, look, I'm not trying to be a hunter, you know what I'm saying, I ain't trying to do all that, I just want to be friends with Gon, you know? And shit, yo, like I said, just mind fucked, yo. I was like, holy shit, how you gonna do that to your little bro, yo? Guaranteed, that kid, he's been through some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure in this next arc coming up, I'm about to see exactly kind of what he's been through. He probably been through some real crazy type of shit. If he's like that, you know, if he gets mind fucked by the mind games from his brother like that, and his brother taking out needles from his head and transforming and all that shit, yeah, motherfucker been through some shit. But anyways, Gon, he gets heated after he hear that shit, yo. He's like, hold on a second. So you're telling me that man right there, right? What? What's going on here, son? So he gets up, he's like, let's go. Where they at? Let's go. Where they at? You know what I'm saying? I'll take my high ass shorts, I don't give a fuck. Let's go. So he goes ahead to this kind of auditorium where they're at, where everybody that's passed is at and everything. And he confronts his brother, yo. He confronts his ass, yo. He fucking grabs this dude's wrist hard as shit, yo. And I believe this motherfucker broke his wrist, yo. He was just like, yo, he was just like, he had no expression on his face. He was like, what? Motherfucker, what you do? What you do? What you do to that nigga, man? That's my friend, son. That's my fucking friend, nigga. Yo, he even had his motherfucker up in the air, yo. It brought him down. It was just like, motherfucker, what? Motherfucker, what? I was like, holy shit, son. I was like, you going hard as shit on his wrist, yo. You saw the fucking, like, his skin stretch in and the vein come out and shit. That shit was like, ah! I was hurting for this dude. Man, he started talking to him and everything, and was like, where is he? Where'd he go? And then he pretty much, like, told him where he went after Gon went ahead and laid into him and stuff. And yeah, he told me they went to like Kokoro Mountain and everything. That's exactly like where their homeland is and stuff. And then after that, they pretty much gave everybody their congratulations of them being hunters and stuff. Told them about, you know, the card and how much money they would have and all this stuff, yada yada yada. So pretty much that was kind of the end of it, and it ended with Sato's actually giving Gon a little insight about his dad, and Gon pretty much has his eyes set on going to help out Killua and Killua, however you pronounce his name, and actually Shaolin Temple and Leorio want to go ahead and help him out and stuff. And the packages that they actually gave them can actually pretty much, it's like a huge database that they can look up anything and stuff. So they pretty much found out exactly how to get there, you know, and everything, and exactly where it's at. So they're pretty much on their way to check out this Zoldyck family or whatever. So definitely gonna be checking that out. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much it. I enjoyed this arc. I will say though that I started to really kind of get into it by the end. You know what I'm saying? By the end of this arc right here. But throughout it, you know, I did, you know, enjoy it. There was, I did enjoy it throughout. I thought it was pretty good. But I think by the end is when I really saw that, okay, there's a lot of possibilities here with this series. And I can't wait to actually get into those possibilities that are now being opened through these doors that they actually kind of give us an idea of what's actually to come. And you know, it goes to show you that anime is something that you have to put in the time and the work into it. You know, if it's a series of 25 episodes or something like that, you pretty much kind of see what's really to come and what's there right away. But if you have something that is either ongoing or 100 plus episodes, or probably like 60, 70 episodes, 50 something episodes, then sometimes, you know, it takes a little bit more to actually get you to the point where it's like, okay, this is what's going on, this is where we're going to be going with this, and get the viewer into it. And I felt that this was that kind of prime example. There was certain points to it that I that I really did like a lot, that really kind of got me hype and everything, which is definitely, I would have to say the two spots were the heart with the doggy bag, yo, that was definitely it right there. And the part where fucking Shaolin Temple just choke slammed the fuck out of that imposter, yo. It was like just like, what? Holy shit. But that is what it is, and I hope to see Menchi a lot more. But like I said, guys, overall, I was very entertained. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to see more, without a doubt. And hopefully you guys stick around to actually see this go down. This was my first impressions of Hunter x Hunter. You know what the deal is. Once I catch up by doing the arc reviews, I will be doing the episode reviews, definitely. And like I said before, with One Piece, after I finish my Punk Hazard arc impressions, and I'm almost done with reading the manga for that arc, I'll be putting that out, and then I'll be doing One Piece chat reviews. Okay, so y'all know that's coming. And then yeah, that should be pretty good, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, guys, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Y'all know how we do it here. We keep it live, you know what I'm saying? We keep it hype. It's what we do. We put in work. It's what we do, son. You gotta put in that work. If you ain't putting in that work by sharing, by commenting, by liking, son, you ain't a part of Anime Central, son. This is what it is. We ain't part of it. But anyways, guys, I'm Shamplu. This is Anime Central. I want to thank y'all for watching. Do not forget to check out my other playlists, such as Anime to Life comedy skits, and the One Piece is a hell of a drug playlist. You can watch the whole adventure, and trust me, I did not forget. I'm going to be going back to do the Alabasta arc impression, and probably some other stuff, such like Arlong Park, and a few other ones, actually. There's a few other that I missed because of, you know, if you watch my first impressions video of One Piece, you'll kind of see why. But anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. Like always, peace.